The woman at Dock 17. The fog hung thick over Dock 17, hiding the stars and swallowing the soft hum of engines that should have sounded steady and safe. Commander Jace Ward's boots echoed sharply on the metal catwalk, each step careful, measured. He wasn't supposed to be here this late, but something pulled him, something he couldn't explain. Ahead, a figure stood motionless under the dim light of the docking bay's main lamp. A woman. Her clothes looked old-fashioned, almost like she stepped out of another time, but it was her eyes that froze Jace in place. They glowed faintly, an impossible, unnatural blue that pulsed softly in the darkness. "Jace," she said, voice calm but urgent. "Don't you recognize me?" He wanted to step back. He wanted to tell himself it was a hallucination, a trick of the light, the stress of the long shift. But her voice was too real, too familiar. "I'm Ilara," she whispered. "Your childhood. Neighbor." The words hit him like a shockwave. Ilara. The girl who vanished one summer night 20 years ago. The girl everyone said had died in the blackout that took half their neighborhood offline. The girl he buried deep in his memories, like a secret too painful to remember. But here she was, alive, standing right in front of him. Jace swallowed hard, eyes searching her face for the girl he once knew. But Ilara looked the same. Timeless. No wrinkles, no signs of aging. It was impossible. "What are you doing here?" His voice cracked. She took a step closer, the glowing eyes never leaving his. "I need your help. They're coming. You have to trust me." Before he could answer, a sudden noise shattered the moment. Sharp footsteps from the corridor behind him. Jace spun around. 2 security officers stormed in, weapons raised. "Freeze!" one shouted. "Identify yourself." Ilara's eyes flickered brighter. In a blink, she was gone, vanished as if swallowed by the fog itself. Jace stared at the empty space where she'd stood. His heart pounded, but his mind raced even faster. Was she real, a ghost, or something else? He noticed something on the ground where she'd been, a small device glowing faintly with blue light. Curious, he picked it up. A map appeared on the screen, marked with coordinates to an old lunar base, one Jace had sworn never to visit again. His breath caught. The base was a ghost from his past, officially abandoned for decades. The place where the government had shut down Project Mirror, a secret experiment no one spoke about. Jace's fingers trembled as he stared at the map, the same base where he'd lost a part of himself he could never explain. He pocketed the device and called his pilot. Tonight, answers waited on the moon. The shuttle lifted off smoothly from Dock 17, leaving the fog and shadows behind. Jace sat alone in the cockpit, eyes locked on the glowing map. His mind replayed Ilara's words. "They're coming. You have to trust me." Who was they? And why had she returned now, after all this time, as the shuttle pierced the dark silence of space? Jace's thoughts drifted back to his childhood, memories buried beneath layers of duty and denial. He remembered Ilara's laughter, the way she used to race her bike down the neighborhood hills, how her eyes always sparkled, with a secret she never shared. And then, the night everything changed. That night had been perfect. Clear skies, stars shining bright, the neighborhood buzzing with summer life. Then suddenly, a blackout swallowed the whole block. Screams echoed, sirens blared, but when the lights returned, Ilara was gone. The official report said she died in an accident during the blackout. Jace had never believed it. Something about that night never sat right with him. Now, sitting alone in the shuttle, Jace felt the first stirrings of hope and fear. Maybe Ilara's return wasn't a nightmare or a trick. Maybe it was a warning. The lunar base loomed ahead, a skeleton of metal and silence. As the shuttle docked, Jace felt the weight of decades pressing down on him. He stepped out into the cold, the silence almost deafening. The air was stale and heavy with dust. His footsteps echoed down the empty corridors, memories flashing with every step. A faded photograph hung crooked on the wall, a picture of two children, Jace and Ilara, smiling under the summer sun. But the date shocked him. 1975. 20 years before they were born. Jace's breath caught. How could this be? Suddenly a soft whisper filled the room. The voice was Ilara's, young, clear, urgent. Jace, if you've made it here, they know you remember. The lights flickered. A cold chill ran down his spine. The doors locked behind him with a metallic clang. Jace was trapped. Somewhere deep inside the base, monitors flickered to life. On the screen, a recorded image of young Ilara appeared, her glowing eyes locked on the camera. "Remember, Jace," she said softly, "this isn't the end. It's just the beginning." And then the red alarm lights blared. The forbidden base. The red lights pulsed like a heartbeat through the cold metal corridors of the abandoned lunar base. Commander Jace. Ward's breath was shallow, his pulse racing as he scanned the room. The doors had locked behind him with a loud clang. Somewhere in the shadows, a low hum of ancient machinery stirred to life. He forced himself to keep calm. There was no turning back now. Ilara's words echoed in his mind. "If you've made it here, they know you remember." Jace stepped cautiously toward the control panel on the wall. Dust covered every surface, but the touchscreen flickered weakly to life beneath his fingers. A stream of encrypted data scrolled across the screen, logs, recordings, and strange diagrams. He tapped through the files, heart pounding as secrets began to unravel. The forgotten truth. The logs were from something called Project Mirror. According to the files, the project began decades ago, long before Jace or Ilara were born. It involved blending human consciousness with alien technology. Jace's eyes widened as he read the details. Scientists had tried to merge human minds with alien life forms found on a distant planet. The goal was to create a new hybrid being, part human, part alien. The idea was to expand human capabilities beyond anything known, but the project failed, or so the official record said. The logs mentioned a series of volunteers, children from Earth, whose memories were wiped and replaced. Jace's name appeared on several lists, alongside Ilara's. The dates matched their childhood, but the record said these volunteers were only data points, not real people. Jace shook his head. That can't be. A chill ran down his spine. And a new file popped up, a video recording, the message. The screen flickered, and a young girl appeared. It was Ilara, but younger, around 10 years old, with bright eyes and a voice full of fear. "Jace," she whispered urgently, "they're watching us. They don't want you to remember the truth, but you have to try. The memories are real, even if they erase everything else. Meet me at the coordinates we talked about. Trust no one else." The video ended abruptly. The room plunged back into silence. Jace's hands clenched into fists. The girl in the video, Ilara, was the same one who had vanished during the blackout. But why did the project record say they never existed? Something wasn't adding up. Echoes of the past. His mind raced back to the night Ilara disappeared. The blackout, the sirens, the panic. But what he had never told anyone was what he saw just before the power went out. Strange lights hovering in the sky, shapes moving silently between the houses. Aliens. At the time, he had dismissed it as a childhood imagination. But now, in this cold, forgotten base, the pieces were falling into place. Suddenly, a soft sound behind him made him spin around, a faint whisper, like a voice carried on the wind. "Ilara?" No answer, just silence. The hidden room, Jace's curiosity pushed him deeper into the base. The narrow corridors twisted and turned, each corner revealing more faded warnings and locked doors. One door stood out, a reinforced hatch with a faded emblem, Above it, a plaque read, "Containment Unit Authorized Personnel Only." His pulse quickened. He tried the door. Locked. Frustrated, he searched nearby panels until he found a keypad. Remembering the coordinates on the device Ilara left, he input a code he hoped was right. With a hiss, the door slid open. Inside was a dimly lit chamber filled with strange machines. Glass tubes lined the walls, some cracked, some empty. Others contained swirling mists of light that shimmered and pulsed. Jace's eyes caught movement inside one tube. A faint silhouette floated inside, barely visible. He stepped closer. Heart pounding, the forgotten children suddenly, a recording activated on a nearby terminal. A voice filled the room, a woman's calm but firm. Project Mirror was designed to protect humanity's future by blending human consciousness with alien DNA. These children were our first step, the hope of evolution. The voice paused. But something went wrong. The hybrid's DNA proved unstable. Subjects began to show signs of rejection, memories fractured, identities split. Jace's heart sank. He looked back at the silhouette in the glass. Was it Ilara or someone else? The voice continued. We had to terminate the project. All subjects were classified as missing or deceased to protect national security. Their memories erased, their existence denied. The screen went dark. Jace felt a crushing weight of guilt and confusion. Were they monsters, victims, or something more? A new clue as he turned away, a sudden beep made him stop. A hidden drawer slid open in the control panel, revealing a small data chip. Jace grabbed it, fingers trembling. He plugged it into his wrist console. A map appeared, marked with new coordinates. This time deep beneath the surface of the moon, but before he could react, the base shuddered violently, the lights flickered, and alarms wailed again. Jace raced back toward the entrance, the doors sealed tight. Trapped, trust and doubt in the dim red light, Jace felt a presence behind him. Ilara, he whispered. From the shadows, she stepped forward. No longer a child, but the same woman he saw at Dock 17. Her eyes glowed faintly blue, but now with a hint of vulnerability. You shouldn't be here, she said softly. Why did you bring me here? He asked. To remind you, to make you remember who we are. Her words hung heavy. In the air, who we are, Jace echoed, confused. Ilara looked away, pain flashing across her face. We were never just human, she said quietly. We are hybrids, part human, part alien. The memories you thought were yours were part of the experiment. Jace's head spun. How is that possible? She stepped closer. You were chosen just like me. We survived the memory wipe, but they're still hunting us. A threat in the shadows. Suddenly the base's intercom crackled. A cold voice echoed. Commander. Ward, you are trespassing on restricted property. Surrender immediately. Jace's eyes met Ilara's. They found us, she said. Jace's mind raced. Was it the government? Or something else? Who's hunting us? He demanded. Ilara's expression darkened. Not just them. Something worse. Something created from us. The cliffhanger as. The warning lights turned red once more. Jace and Ilara prepared to face the unknown. Jace swallowed hard, the weight of the past crushing down. This is just the beginning, Ilara whispered. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. A hidden door in the floor slid open, revealing a dark tunnel descending into the moon's depths. Without hesitation, Ilara grabbed Jace's hand. Come with me if you want to survive. We were never just human. The dark tunnel swallowed them whole. Jace's heart hammered as Ilara pulled him down the narrow stairwell. The cold air was heavy with dust and silence, broken only by their hurried breaths and the distant rumble of the lunar base above. This way, Ilara whispered, her glowing eyes barely lighting the path. Jace's mind raced with questions, but he forced himself to follow. Trusting her was the hardest thing he'd ever done. Into the depths. The tunnel twisted, deep beneath the surface of the moon. Every step echoed against cold metal walls that seemed older than time itself. After what felt like an eternity, they reached a massive chamber, far from the forgotten halls of Project Mirror. This place was alive. Glowing panels lined the walls, pulsating with energy. Strange symbols floated in the air, shifting like liquid light. Jace felt a strange hum in his bones, as if the moon itself was breathing beneath his feet. "What is this place?" he asked, voice barely steady. Elara looked around, eyes filled with a mixture of awe and fear. "It's where it all began," she said, "where humans and aliens first merged, where our real story started." The origins Elara led him to a central console, displaying images of stars, planets, and strange creatures, some human-like, others utterly alien. "These," she said, pointing to the images, "are the true ancestors of humanity. They came here long before us. They watched, learned, and eventually blended with early humans." Jace blinked, trying to grasp the idea. "You're saying humans are part alien?" Elara nodded. "More than that. We're the product of an ancient experiment, millions of years old. Project Mirror was only the latest attempt to unlock what our DNA has always held." Jace felt his world tilt. Everything he believed about himself, about humanity, was suddenly uncertain. Memories. Resurfacing, Elara stepped closer, her voice softer now. "I know this is hard to believe, but you've already felt it. The strange dreams, the flashes of memories that don't belong to you." Jace closed his eyes. He'd been haunted by dreams, places and faces he'd never seen, whispers in languages he didn't know. Those are your alien memories, buried deep, waiting to be unlocked. A sudden wave of images crashed over him, visions of distant stars, alien landscapes, and a bright light piercing the darkness. He gasped, stumbling back. The hybrid's burden Elara reached out, steadying him. "It's not just memories, it's a calling, a warning." Jace looked at her, confusion and fear tangled together. "What warning?" She hesitated. "There's a force hunting us, something created from the failure of Project Mirror. It's not human, not alien. Something worse." Jace's pulse quickened. "What is it?" Elara's eyes darkened. "A predator, a creature, born from rejection, from pain and broken science. It hunts the hybrids, and soon it will come for us." The first attack before Jace could respond, a distant roar shook the chamber. The walls trembled, dust fell from the ceiling, Elara's face went pale. "It's here!" The glowing panels around them flickered wildly, shadows twisted in the corners. Jace's hand instinctively reached for his sidearm, but Elara stopped him. No weapons, it senses fear. The door to the chamber slammed shut. Face to face. From the shadows emerged a creature, tall, sleek, but horrifyingly twisted. Its eyes glowed red, and its body pulsed with dark energy. It moved with unnatural speed, circling them like a hunter stalking prey. Jace's breath caught in his throat. The creature's voice echoed inside his mind. Cold, mocking. "You cannot." "Hide, hybrids." Elara stood firm, her glowing eyes meeting the creature's. "We won't run." The chase! The creature lunged, and the chase was on. Jace and Elara sprinted through the labyrinthine tunnels, the creature's roar echoing behind them. They turned corner after corner, searching for an escape. Elara grabbed Jace's arm. "There's a chamber ahead, a safe zone, but it's heavily guarded by old defenses. We have to reach it." Jace nodded, adrenaline surging. The safe zone. They burst through a heavy metal door into a room filled with strange technology, machines humming with dormant power. Elara activated the controls. The door sealed behind them with a hiss. They were safe for now. Unexpected ally inside the safe zone. A hologram flickered to life. An older woman's face appeared. "Welcome back, Commander Ward." Jace froze. The woman's eyes were kind but serious. "I'm Dr. Celine Marks. I was part of Project Mirror from the beginning." She paused. "There's something you need to know. You and Ilara, you're not alone. The hidden truth, Doctor." Marks explained that there were others like them. Hybrids who had survived the memory wipe. Some were scattered across Earth, hiding in plain sight. But the Predator was hunting them all. "We need to unite," Dr. Marks said. "Only together can you stand a chance." Jace felt a flicker of hope. The mission Dr. Marks revealed a new map, showing locations where hybrids had been detected. "We must find them. We must warn them." Jace looked at Ilara. "We're not just fighting for ourselves anymore." The cliffhanger, suddenly the lights dimmed. The safe zone trembled. The Predator had found them again. Jace and Ilara prepared for another fight, but this time they were ready. "We face this together," Ilara said. As the door began to shake violently, Jace knew one thing for sure. Their fight was far from over. The hidden network. The Predator's violent shakes rattled the walls of the safe zone, but Jace and Ilara stood firm, their hearts pounding with the knowledge that they were no longer alone. Dr. Celine Marks's message echoed in their minds. "You are part of something bigger now." Ilara's glowing eyes met Jace's. "We must find the others," she said, determination burning in her voice. "We can't fight this alone." The lunar escape. With a sudden blast, the Predator smashed the control panel, plunging the room into darkness. Alarms blared wildly, red lights flashing like warning beacons. Jace grabbed Ilara's hand. "We have to move, now!" They raced through twisting tunnels, dodging falling debris and flickering lights. The Predator's growls echoed behind them, growing louder with every step. Finally, they reached an old shuttle bay. Dust-covered ships sat dormant, frozen in time. Ilara scanned the control panel, fingers flying over the controls. "I can start." "On up," she said, urgency in her voice. "But it'll take a minute." Jace covered her, eyes darting around for any sign of the Predator. The launch. With a groan, the shuttle's engines roared to life. The floor vibrated beneath their feet as the hatch sealed. "Get ready," Ilara said. The Predator burst through the entrance just as the shuttle lifted off, its furious roar fading behind them. Jace exhaled, watching the lunar surface fall away. Beneath them. "We're not safe yet," Ilara warned. "We have a mission to complete." The hidden network back on Earth. In a dimly lit room filled with monitors, a group of people watched the shuttle's trajectory. Dr. Celine Marks stood. Among them, her face grave. "We have confirmation," she said. "The hybrids are awakening." She turned to a young man sitting at a terminal. "Prepare the signal. It's time to reach out." The signal Jace and Ilara landed in a remote location, a safe house built for emergencies like this. Ilara connected the data chip from the lunar base to a secure terminal. A soft hum filled the room as the terminal activated. "Sending a beacon," Ilara said. "A message to others like us." Jace watched anxiously as the screen displayed a map dotted with flickering lights. Signals responding from all over the world. The others, one by one. The signals revealed themselves. There was Mika, a woman, living in the forests of Canada, with mysterious powers she couldn't explain. There was Kiran, a man in the UK who had been hiding from shadows all his life. There was Aisha, a scientist in Australia, who had uncovered strange DNA in her own blood. Each was a hybrid, unaware of their true nature until now. Connecting the dots, Ilara explained, "They're scattered, hiding in plain sight, but the Predator hunts them all." "Why are we being hunted? What does it want?" Dr. Marks's voice crackled over the secure line. "It wants to erase us, to destroy the future humanity could become. We're a threat to the old order." A plan forms. Jace clenched his fists. "We need to bring them together, train them, prepare for what's coming." Ilara nodded. "But first, we have to find them, contact them, earn their trust." Dr. Marks added, "And we must protect the ones already targeted. A risky move. Jace stared at the map. There's one signal close, in London. We should start there. Ilara looked hesitant. It's risky. The Predator may be watching. Jace smiled grimly. Then we'll be ready. The arrival in London. Jace and Ilara arrived in London under the cover of night. The city's lights twinkled like stars, but danger lurked beneath the familiar streets. They made their way to an old apartment building marked by the signal. Inside, they found Kieran, a man with haunted eyes and a quiet strength. Trust and suspicion. Kieran eyed them warily. How do I know you're real? Ilara stepped forward. Because we remember, because we're like you. Slowly, Kieran's suspicion softened. I've felt different my whole life. Alone. Jace smiled. You're not alone anymore. The Predator strikes. Suddenly the building trembled. The Predator was close. Kieran's eyes widened. We have to move. Now! They fled into the London night, hearts pounding, knowing the hunt was far from over. A new bonders they ran. Jace looked. At Ilara and Kieran. We're building something new. A family, Ilara nodded. A network. A force. Kieran smiled, hope flickering in his eyes. For the first time, I believe. The cliffhanger, but, in the shadows, a dark figure watched them. The Predator was patient. It would wait, because the real battle was just beginning. Awakening the hybrids, the city's cold night air wrapped around Jace, Ilara and Kieran as they disappeared into the maze of London's back alleys. The Predator's roar still echoed behind. Them. But for the first time, Jace felt something stronger than fear. Hope. We can't keep running, Jace said, his breath visible in the frosty air. We have to fight, but first we need more allies. Ilara nodded, her eyes glowing faintly. The others are waiting, but some don't want to believe. Kieran glanced at them. Determination hardened in his face. Then we'll make them believe. The next contact, the map on Ilara's device flickered, highlighting the next signal, a remote location in the forests of Canada. We have to reach Mika, Ilara said. Jace frowned. She's isolated. That will be a challenge. Isolation is a shield, Kieran said. We need to break it. Journey north. They boarded a small, rugged plane under cover of darkness, heading toward the dense Canadian forests. As the landscape changed from city lights to towering pines, tension thickened in the cramped cabin. Why do you think they hid? Jace asked. Ilara's voice was soft but firm. Fear. Confusion. The Predator's shadow is long. Mika's world. The plane landed on a makeshift runway deep in the forest. They trekked through snow and underbrush until they reached a small cabin. Mika opened the door, tall, fierce, and wary. I don't know who you are, she said, eyes narrowing. Ilara stepped forward. You're one of us. We're here to help. Mika laughed bitterly. Help? You don't know what I've been through, the hidden powers inside the cabin. Mika revealed her strange abilities, plants bending at her will, animals responding to her silent calls. But it's a curse, she whispered. It scares people. I've been alone for years. Jace placed a hand on her shoulder. You're not alone anymore. Ilara added, together we can control this. We can fight back. A sudden attack before Mika could respond. The forest erupted in chaos. The Predator's minions, shadowy creatures spawned from its darkness, surrounded the cabin. Mika's eyes flashed as she summoned vines and roots, fighting fiercely. Jace and Kieran joined the battle, their newfound powers awakening in response. Fighting side by side. The battle was brutal, but brief. The minions retreated, howling into the night. Breathless, the group stood united. Mika looked at them with newfound respect. Maybe there's a chance. Awakening others back at the safe house, Dr. Celine Marks sent encrypted messages to the scattered hybrids. It's time, she said. The awakening must spread. One by one, others answered the call, stepping out of hiding. Doubts and trust not, everyone was convinced. Aisha, the scientist in Australia, hesitated when contacted. "I don't belong," she said. "I'm just a researcher," Ilara replied. "You're more than that. You're a key to the future." Preparing for the final fight, as the network grew, so did the Predator's fury. Jace gathered the hybrids in a hidden location. "We're the future of humanity, hybrid and strong," he declared. "But we must be ready. This predator wants to destroy us all." The emotional Tolkien confessed his fears. "I've spent my life running. What if I fail?" Ilara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Fear is natural, but so is courage." The cliffhanger suddenly, alarms, blared. The predator had found their sanctuary. The group braced for battle. Jace's voice was steady. "This is it. Together we fight." The final light. The sanctuary shook with the predator's assault. A relentless storm of shadow and fury, pounding against their fragile refuge. But inside, the hybrids stood united, their glowing eyes burning with defiance. Jace took a deep breath, steadying himself. This was the moment they had prepared for, the final stand for their future. The battle begins. The predator crashed through the outer walls like a dark tidal wave. Its monstrous form pulsed with black energy, eyes blazing crimson hate. But the hybrids did not flinch. Ilara raised her hands, sending waves of luminous energy that pushed the shadow beast back. Mika called to the forest, roots bursting through, the ground binding the creature's limbs. Kiran, now fully embracing his power, wielded a blade of pure light, striking at the predator's flank. The strength of unity, Jace felt the power inside him swell, a fusion of human will and alien. "Legacy, we fight as one," he shouted, their energies intertwined, creating a brilliant shield that repelled the predator's attacks. For the first time, the monster faltered. The predator's true form. Suddenly, the predator screamed, its form shifting and twisting, revealing its core. It was not just a creature. It was a fractured being, a twisted reflection of failed science and fear. Lara stepped forward. "You are what we refuse to become." The final push with a cry. The hybrids channeled every ounce of their power. Light clashed with darkness in a spectacular explosion that lit the sky. The predator's screams faded as it dissolved into nothingness. The aftermath silence fell. The sanctuary was scarred but standing. Jace looked around at his allies, tired, bruised, but alive. "We survived," he said softly. Ilara smiled. "This is just the beginning. A new dawn in the days that followed, the hybrids revealed themselves. To the world, not as monsters, but as a new evolution of humanity. Mika, Kiran, Aisha, and others became leaders, bridging the gap between alien legacy and human spirit. The lesson Jace spoke at a global assembly. We were never just human. We carry the stars within us. Our past is complex, but our future is ours to create." He paused, eyes shining with hope. "Fear of the unknown divides us, but courage to embrace it unites us." The final thought, Ilara looked up at the stars, whispering softly, "We are the light that guides the darkness away." Jace joined her, feeling for the first time truly at home, not just on Earth, but in the vastness of the universe. The end.